Hey, what's up? I'm Chris with Violence Underground, and today I just want to talk to you guys about a couple of things. For one, sorry about the slow content. Regular bullshit. 2 jobs, full-time student. Dumb. But I have a shitload of ideas for this channel. Down on paper, I just need to get it executed. After like the next 15 days, I'm gonna have a lot more free time to dedicate to making this channel awesome, so bear with me. But anyways, that's why I'm bringing you another one of these best of kind of videos. I usually don't do 2 videos like this back to back that are the same. Like I wouldn't release 2 HM2 videos back to back or 2 of the artist videos, but give me a break here, huh? So getting into the metal that was released this month. Ooh. Got 5 albums for you. Hopefully you guys have heard of a couple of them, because there's some great stuff on this list that I liked a lot coming out in July. So first band I want to talk about is a good old down home southern band called Churchburn. Did you like it? It's like a heavy, sludgy, doomy, soul-crushing blackness. This band was formed... They're not even from the South, by the way. They're from, like, New York or something. So this band was formed by 2 of the founding members, Ray McCaffrey, who's the drummer, and someone you may be familiar with, Dave Suzuki, who was the lead guitar player and vocalist for Vital Remains, the death metal band, for many years. So if you're a fan of those guys, you might be a fan of this. I mean, this shit, I feel like these 2 guys were like, let's just make the most absolute... most caustic, bleak. This shit is dark. So the instrumentation on this album is absolutely crushing, low-tuned, but they have like a consistent groovy aspect to their music, especially for being one of those ultra-heavy bands. You know, some bands just kind of get lost in open notes and the top string, but I think Churchburn kind of still has a flavor of probably burnt Christians, I would say. This music is insane, so if you like music that tastes like burnt Christians and blasphemy, why don't you go ahead and give Churchburn a try, huh? I'm drooling because of the new album by Jungle Rot. Delusional denial! Alright, the new Jungle Rot album. It's just self-titled, Jungle Rot, doesn't have a name, but it's badass. I really like this album. If you like Jungle Rot at all, I mean, this is just one of their top albums, I feel like. Jungle Rot released their new album July 20th, along with almost every other band on this list. Everyone just waited till July 20th for whatever reason, which also meant I had to wait till July 20th and then receive a bunch of albums and then listen to them all over and over again, try and crank out this stupid video. I hate it. But anyways, you got 10 napalm-fueled old school slabs of death metal straight out of the jungle. I mean, you got the breakneck grooves and insanely catchy riffs. You got the chest-caving double bass. I think one of Jungle Rot's biggest strengths is the fact that they can keep it simple, and they have their own formula and they stick to it. Now, a lot of people complain when a band either changes their sound in a new direction that fan didn't like, or people keep it the same too long, and a lot of fans are like, oh, they're not experimenting enough. Jungle Rot has been releasing consistently good records since the mid-90s. They have a formula, they stick to it, and it's a winner, dude. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Jungle Rot is badass, and they always release good music. And their newest album is no exception. It's just really good. Oh, lordy. Here comes Skeleton Witch. The new Skeleton Witch released July 20th. Devouring Radiant Light. Oh, man. I was just going to say, I like the new Skeleton Witch album. There's going to be people out there that don't like it strictly because Chance is not in it. But you got the new singer, right? Adam Clemens, I believe is the last name. You got the new drummer. That guy. No one's talking about the new Skeleton Witch drummer. Except for me. I can't even remember his name. Adam Clemens is his name. I got it right. Dustin Jugs McBulge? I don't know. So, one thing I want to point out is this album doesn't have their mascot, that Skeleton Witch guy, on it anymore. First album to not even have that. First album to not have Chance. They don't have their old drummer. So there's a lot of changes going into this record other than Adam only. They've kind of gone in a new direction on this album. They've kind of taken out some of the thrashy elements and replaced them with more progressive elements. So a lot of the songs are much longer than your average Skeleton Witch tracks on their older albums. Not only that, but I think there's a real emphasis on just the melodic black metal overall. What they're doing sounds awesome. So if you can hang with Chance not being in the band and they got the new drummer and you're down with a little more progressive Witch, it's badass. Check it out. Next album I want to talk about is a band called Parius with their new album, Tales from the Eldritch Realm. Parius, a new progressive death metal band. Parius back with their second full-length album, Tales from the Eldritch Realm. This album is pretty badass. I had never heard of these guys before, so you got 7 tracks on this thing. It clocks in at 30 minutes. There's clear H.P. Lovecraft influence here on this album. I mean, it's called the Eldritch Realm. But the way the lyrics tell the story, very Lovecraftian inspired. And all the musicians on this album, the drums, guitar, and bass, it's nothing short of amazing. They're all super badass, very talented. The vocals are very... there's a lot of variety on the vocals in this album. When you listen to this album, you're not just going to get cleans, you're not just going to get dirty vocals, you're going to get a lot of stuff in between.
Whether at the dawn of time or the edge of infinity, above or below the firmament.
Which is cool. I like the vocal experimentation. You know, it goes along with the story that they're telling. So it's unique to the album and it's unique to these guys. I think it's pretty cool. Overall, this is a really fun album. Really heavy shit in here too. So If you guys want to check out some cool progressive death metal that's like H.P. Lovecraft inspired, Perius, the Tales from the Eldritch Realm. Don't judge me. I've never learned to read. And then the last album I want to talk about. Can you guess what it is? Probably not, because it's not Immortal. Let me tell you why I'm not going to talk about the new Immortal album, by the way. I'm not the biggest Immortal fan, alright? I like Sons of Northern Darkness. That album f***ing slays from front to back. But I will tell you, I listened to the album, and I just wasn't a super huge fan of it. So I just feel like I'm not the right person to talk about what they have to offer, because from my understanding, Immortal fans everywhere are rejoicing over this album. Just not a big Immortal fan. Like I said, Sons of Northern Darkness rips, but other than that, that's really the only album I care for by them. Getting back to this, the next album I want to talk about is from a band who's been asleep for 11 years. They haven't released an album. They quit doing stuff. Other members were doing stuff. They got back together and they released a new Rune Magic album. Rune Magic, evoked from abysmal sleep. If you know who Rune Magic is, you know that these guys are one of the most criminally underrated death metal bands in death metal. I mean, it's disgusting how many people don't know who Rune Magic is. You know, it's one of those bands that whenever I discovered Rune Magic, the first thought on my mind was, why have I not been listening to these guys, and why do I not hear more people talking about them? Rune Magic has been around since the early 90s. Rune Magic is an old school band, Death Doom, and they've been consistently releasing amazing albums. If I was going to compare this band to any other band, I would say this is like the Death Doom version of Bolt Thrower. These dudes are amazing. And there's a lady. They're not just these dudes. Dudette, you know. I think this album's first track is titled appropriately. After the end, they will rise again. You know, they weren't a band, and now they're a band, and they're rising. You see it? If you don't know much about Rune Magic's music, they're very mysterious sounding, but they're also severely heavy and very extremely groovy. They make really long songs, but I mean, it's just rich with fat riffs throughout. It doesn't even matter. They keep it interesting. The full length of the album, and they've done that on every album, and they don't change that formula on this album. This was also released on July 20th as well. So that's pretty much sums up my list of 5 bands. Hopefully there's some albums here that you think sound cool. Go check them out. Go check out their Bandcamps. Go buy their shit. Give skeletonwitch a try. Give Rune Magic a try. Give all these guys a try, man. They're all badass, and they all worked hard on their new albums, and all these albums are super badass. I'm very broke because of July and June, which is just so packed full of metal. It hurts. Hurts me right in my wallet. So go support them.